Hi Stampin' friends. Tonight's focus for the Facebook Live will be embossing folders. I'm going to show you several different possibilities that you can do with your embossing folders. I also wanted to mention a couple of things. If you ever want to order, you can go to my Stampin' Up website, and you can also go to my blog and get there. You can also email me and I can place the order for you if you ever need that service. I am happy to help. I also wanted to mention the Designer Series paper sale that's going on throughout October. Almost all of them are on sale. There are some that aren't though. I have a post about it on Facebook and on my blog. So check that out if you're interested in Designer Series paper because it's about 15% off during October. So I'm going to go ahead and begin because I have several, I hope I don't have too many little ideas for these stamps. Now, one thing I wanted to mention is this one from the catalog. This is page 35 of the July through December catalog. So it is the cutest little card here in the middle. It has either gold or copper foil embossed with the Evergreen embossing folder. And it's just such a simple card, but it's really pretty. So I wanted to bring that to your attention because that is one of the things I'll be sort of casing this for one of our cards tonight. And I do have some that are not Christmas in case you're not ready for Christmas yet. So there will be several ideas and several things that I've done, actually a couple things that I did that didn't work so well. So hopefully you'll be able to learn some things from that. So here I am. I wanted to show you, I punched out these little leaves from the Gilded Autumn Fall paper. This is the white side. It's the back side of this kind of chevron-y looking thing. And so they are already gold and also copper. And so I wanted to use gold and copper on my card. Well, what happened was I thought, well, that's wasteful to leave the center in this gold piece. We've seen that a million times. So I thought, well, I'll punch this out with this pretty scallop so I can use this again on something else. But then, I don't know if you can see this. I didn't use a brand new plate, which is most of the time, it's hard to use a brand new plate for cutting. And I ended up with quite a bit of the kind of embossed pressing in this. And so it made this look kind of strange too. So it made this look a little strange. So what I did was embossed it with an embossing folder. And then it made it look very slick and smooth. You can't see any of the problems that I thought I had. And then it adds interest, I think, when you then layer it under the copper embossing folder, which what I did here was use the Woodland embossing folder, which that one is 152881 and it's $8.50. I used it with copper embossing, copper foil. I keep doing that. So I wanted to just show you how I was going to put this together. So I'll just go ahead and get started. I just wanted to show you how I'm still trying to use up a little bit of snail. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this up. So I'm just putting it on the inside because I don't want it to be too close to the edge. Seems to be working okay. Now if I do get this on something, I can always use my adhesive eraser to get rid of it. Okay, so I'm putting this here. I could pop this up on some dimensionals, but I think I would rather have it lie flat. So then I'm going to put it right here. I don't know if I can get that to, oh, it does stick to that. Weird. I just was having trouble with that Woodland's embossing folder. Very strange. That's just easy peasy on this one. Who knew? Okay. So then I'm just sticking this down. I'm gonna try to get it as centered as I can. Okay, so then I've added that on here. And then what I thought would be cute is to just put some, like a white ribbon or bow on this card and then put it next to, I thought you could tuck it in here Or you could, oh, I got that loopy, sorry. That's funny. There we go. Must have, oh, it is, it's sliding really easy. So maybe I should use some, yeah, that's possible. I should probably use the green glue for this, the Mono Multi liquid glue. But I thought I could put this across here. And I have a little bit of brown on there. I want to make sure that that doesn't show anywhere. So I'm just going to tuck it under. Maybe put a glue dot here. I don't think I need that. That was kind of messy. Just tuck it under here. Like that. Whoops. There we are. And then tuck this one under here. And I just liked the white with the foils. I just thought it was kind of cute. There we are. And there we go. And then what I usually like to do is either tie a tie or slide it under and then just tie a bow. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Whoops. Those may not be my best choice of scissors. And put it over like this. And as far as putting a sentiment on, I think that our new caramel, gosh, what is it called? Cinnamon apple cider, whatever it's called. I think it looks really nice with the copper as far as being like a color match. So I think that will be what I use for my sentiment. Okay, so there's that. And I just want to straighten things up here. And ideally, I don't really, if I'm honest, want to mail this card because I like the way this ribbon kind of sticks up and the way that the little, I got a little fuzzy thing there. Let me get rid of that with some scissors. The way the bow is so nice and loopy. I just kind of like the way that looks. So we'll see. If I have to mail it, I have to mail it. I'm grabbing the cinnamon cider. Okay. And I think the sentiment that I put on there might be, let me find it, the Gather Together sentiment, which I like from the Come Together set. So what I'm going to do is just stamp it on here. See if I like that. Oh, that's not the color, I don't believe. Let's see, maybe it is. I don't know. Let's see, let me try one more time on the back side. Because I might have had some, no, I think that's a nice match now. I think it did have a little bit of probably Cajun craze because I do like that one with those sets. So I'm going to punch this out, and I hope this is a current punch. I don't see an R on it, so I may have failed though because I was kind of flaky this summer. So let's see. So I might just put the Gather Together right there. And then what I was planning with these little punches is just to add as many as I can on here as if they're falling leaves, which with the white, I think that that will look cute. But if you think it would be better colored, and it might, then you might want to go ahead and color yours. Okay, so there's that. I pulled that one a little bit. Okay, so what I was thinking was that I would use, if I can find them, these little mini dimensionals. They're so handy. And I probably won't, you know, usually when leaves fall, because of the weight of the stem, they do usually fall this direction. And, but I probably am going to have them go in several different directions. So it may not be very realistic on that. But I do want to have a nice representation of both gold and copper in this. So I have several of each one. And these actually didn't punch, the smaller one. They actually did not have a punch for that, but I thought that was so cute, and it was pretty easy to cut them out. So I used just my scissors and just fussy cut them. Didn't take too terribly long. And I think I want to have about 3 of each color, of each shape leaf. Hi, Linda. It's nice to see you. So there we are. Let me get a couple more of these guys. And I guess I can always stop if I decide, once I start putting them on, if I decide, oh, that's too many, then I can always just not put any more. Okay. So there I go with that. I think I'll start with the biggest ones. That's one tip that you can use sometimes to, when you're doing like placing things on. Usually you can start with the biggest ones, and that can make it easier to put the rest on. So, whoopsie. There we go. I think I'm going to put one right next to this, and maybe several right next to this sentiment, because it is a little bit large. And just putting more leaves around it will kind of make it a little bit prettier, I think. So there's that. Put one right there. And then I want to put one in this corner. There. I guess that's not a corner, sorry. Maybe another over there. Some of these little guys. All right, let's see. That looks fairly decent. Let me count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I guess I need to have an odd number. Try to think about what other color I would like on there. I think I would like it to be the copper colored. I think I'll put one of these little tiny copper ones. And there we are. I might put that there. I think that has balanced my little bow there. So I'm finished with this one, and I think it's kind of a different look than we're used to. Might not be something that you would originally think of, but it turns out kind of sweet, and it's pretty easy. So this is our first one. It kind of gives an idea of how to use several of the colors together and how to layer them on top of each other. So kind of adds. All right, so now I am ready to start on, oh, I wanted to show you this first actually. What I did with this, I watched someone make a, like go over with StazOn this, these embossing folders, and it gives them kind of a nice, I don't know what the word would be, like a burnished look. And I really like that, so I wanted to try it with this one. And then I wanted to try the red, like trying to make these little red dots. Well, they just end up being kind of a purple when you put red on green. So that didn't work as well as I wanted it to. But you can see here what I was trying to do, and maybe see where the black, I used a black StazOn over it. So we're gonna try it with another StazOn and see what we think about that. But I wanted to show you a couple of other things with that first. Okay, so when I embossed these with the green foil, I don't even know, have you all even noticed the green foil? It comes in green and red, and I really like the green with this nice Evergreen embossing folder. One thing it does though, it has a little bit of punch through of white, and you can see some white through there. So what I wanted to suggest is, I actually thought that this light shaded spruce looked pretty good. And, oh yes, Chris, this is the grid paper that they had with the new in colors on it. It's a lot of fun, thanks. So what I did was go into the spaces, let's see if I can get it where you can see it, into the spaces where I could see a little bit of white or discoloration, and I put the blend over the top. And then I thought, oh wait, I think I can see where that is. So what might look good is to go on the edges of these trees, just kind of like that. And it might, because the blends will color on this paper because they're alcohol based. It might be nice to add some more texture to this with using the blends pen like that. And you can really see that any of the white is completely covered now. So, and you could even go out here on these others. You want to be real careful and not make a streak, but it adds even more depth when you go over these outer edges with a little bit, and like I said, I'm using a lighter color than you would think to use with this green, but I think it adds a nice texture and depth to the embossing. So there's that. I'm afraid you all can't see this quite, but let's see if I can, I don't know, maybe you can see it. Sorry about that. Hope that didn't make anybody loopy, but yeah, it's just kind of adds a little bit of texture. Excuse me. I have some tea here. I think I'll get a quick drink. Okay, so what I was doing was kind of going off of that one that we looked at earlier with the gold trees and the Hark the Herald Angels Sing. But I kind of wanted to use the green and the white because I think that the green is really striking against the white. So, and you can see here that I definitely did color it. You can see it went through the paper just a little bit. So that's obviously where the white was. So it's soaked into the background of the paper. But it shouldn't continue soaking. It should be finished now because the alcohol markers dry really quickly. Shouldn't have to worry about it soaking into my thick Whisper White cardstock. So I also embossed this using the Evergreen folder. So that made my background piece here look like it melds even more with this green foil. So you could line it up where it's perfect on there. I didn't worry about it that much. I just kind of got it looking like trees, so that really was sufficient. So there we are. Then I did from the cute little Rustic Retreat stamp set. Let me show it to you what I'm talking about. Remember this set that has the bear and the deer and the cute little cabin? I did the Sending Warm Christmas Wishes because I think it just kind of looks rustic like this does. And so I stamped it in soft suede. So I thought, soft suede, no, shaded spruce, sorry about that. So you can see there where it looks kind of cutesy on there. So I'm gonna just pop it up on some dimensionals. Oops. There we go. I like to use 3. There we are. Then I just want to get that as straight as I can. There we go. And then what I thought was interesting, this has, the one that's in the catalog has the gold Gilded Gems as its decoration. And I have a whole bunch of these little, what are they called? Let me tell you, hold on. Flowers for Every Season gems. So I was thinking these little green guys might look really cute on this. They might look too light on the white, but maybe not. So see, can you see that? I'm sorry, I'm not probably got where you can really see it very well. I just think these little green sparkly gems, I think they look really cute on there. And then I would also, you know, I'd put a couple on the green. I'd be sure and put a couple on the white. And then probably just to tie it together, go ahead and put 1 or 2 on the sentiment itself. Like it's just kind of like you've just almost spilled them on there. So anyway, I thought that was a cute idea. Well, I think they've turned themselves over. When I take the picture, you all will be able to see it really well, but until then, I think maybe my nails are too long. Who'd have thought? Okay, there we are. There. So that kind of gives you an idea of what I'm going for on this card. So yeah. And then another idea with these embossing folders, let me get these guys out of the way. We don't want to spill them. Another idea would be, let's see here, trying to get to it, going over just the snowflakes. Now the snowflakes are called Winter Snow. They're number 153571. And they are just some really cute, easy snowflakes. And so I wanted to show just putting just some little color and maybe some shine to these snowflakes. So I got out my Well, I thought I got it out. I had out an ink pad that I wanted to use. Too funny. Oh, here we go. Seaside Spray and the Seaside Spray sponge dauber. So I just wanted to kind of put color on each one of these, just a little bit. So you have to use kind of a, I guess you'd say a light hand, because you don't want to get it too dark. But I think it makes these a lot more visible and less subtle, which subtle can be good, but sometimes you just kind of want things to pop. So I'm just kind of going over every one, even the little ones, mostly just the center. And if you wanted to make it even smaller, like a narrower focus to your centers, you could do that with a pencil eraser, and that can give you the same look if it seems like this is too hard to control. So just something to do, because usually what you can do with a pencil eraser is just erase it off. And so the ink doesn't, this kind of ink, now some other kinds of ink maybe stays on or something might bother it, but the water-based ink shouldn't bother your eraser. Anyway, so you can see there what I was going for, I think. Let me hold it up. There we are. Just kind of give an idea. So then that just almost makes a background designer series paper that you've done on your own. And when you layer it on your cardstock and then maybe put some pretty ribbon and some maybe a snowflake over here, you can make a really simple card that you haven't spent a whole lot of time on, but it looks really sweet. And I probably would put this card this direction because they kind of look like they're falling in this direction. So of course you don't ever have to add, it's just as pretty as can be without adding the extra ink, but just something to consider. So, okay, there's that one. And now I'm going to show just this, which is the embossed trees. And I'm going to add just a little bit of Whisper White Craft ink. We'll see how this turns out. I'm just going to go ahead and add little bits to the edges as if the snow has fallen here. I'm sorry, I need to kind of look at it. I kind of want to go this way across. So what I'm doing is just adding little bits of white. And then you don't want to forget about the middle because that would also have a little bit of snow on it too. You just want to kind of go light on the middle. Just trying to make it look a little bit natural. So I'm just going down each side of each tree, just a little bit, just to kind of give it a little more definition. And then just down the middle to add a little more emphasis. And one thing to consider is when you're placing your trees, placing your paper into your embossing folder, you might just try to remember that the way that you do that is going to create a shape within your card. So like for this one, it kind of goes up like this. So you might want to put a sentiment over here at the top. Let me try to turn it like this. Hi, Linda. Nice to see you. You might put a sentiment here, or you might put a sentiment on one of the places down the bottom or even in the middle. But it's just something to consider as you're placing your embossing folder, placing the embossing folder onto your paper so that you can kind of make a decision about that, what your plans are for the card. I'll do a couple more branches here. There we are. And then I just want to kind of go over just a little bit some of the others. In a couple places I got a little too much white, so sometimes you can rub that off with a Kleenex because this is not completely dry yet. I would suggest if you're going to do this that you go back with a heat tool, and that'll dry it a lot quicker. Then you don't have to wait much time really, and it can be ready to go a lot sooner. So I don't know if you can see that. That would look really pretty on like a white background card, and maybe with some white ribbon and a white sentiment, or embossed in gold would be pretty too. Now, one other thing that I might consider doing if I were you is adding the Wink of Stella to the edges. Now it's going to smear the white ink just a little bit and kind of turn it into, I don't know if you would say almost looking embossed, but kind of. So as you do that, just be careful that you don't get too much. It doesn't get too carried away. But what that'll add is kind of like it's melted, which we would get a lot of in Oklahoma if we had snow on our trees. It would melt in the middle of the day and then freeze back. So this is kind of that sort of look where it's kind of shiny on the edges. There we are. Now the question is, will you be able to see what I've done whenever I hold it up for you? But I have added, it's very shiny to me, so I don't know if we'll be able to see it. Let's see. Try to move it a couple of different ways. There we are. So anyway, I don't know if you can see the sparkle, but I can. So it's just, I've just gone over it with this little Wink of Stella pen. I highly recommend it because it is quick drying because it's got an alcohol base, and it adds a lot of shine and a lot of cool looks to your cards. So I would suggest that. And then I just wanted to mention that I will have these up for you to see for next week's newsletter. So if you weren't able to see all of the cards, you might want to get next week's newsletter. And you can sign up for that on my blog. I'll put a link under this to my blog so that you can sign up. And I will also put new blog posts up this week. So I want everyone to hop on over there and consider signing up for my newsletter. So I would love to see you all then. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great weekend. I hope you have some time for stamping. Bye, everyone.